Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of From the Rough, America's favorite golf podcast, live from the FanStream Sports Studios in not quite smoldering, but still somewhat hot Dallas, Texas. I'm IndyCarTim. That man right there alongside my left side, screen right, if you're watching this on video today, that is PGA of America member, Mr. John Gerber from Kansas City, Kansas. Hello, Johnny.
We are back in Kansas City, Kansas. Good afternoon. Yeah, you're not melting, brother. So that's good. I heard the weather's a little bit better down there, so you're not melting. So that's a good thing. You look a little bit more chipper. I don't know about that Texas Tech hat. You know, this is a golf show. They have
a really good golf program at Texas Tech.
They do. They do have a really good golf program. Yeah, here in Kansas City, man, the weather is just first class here. Looks like we're going to get some really nice weather here for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks or something. So just got back here, spent a little time in Columbus last week. So doing some DSP media business and some FanStream Sports. A lot to talk about on that front. But, yeah, looking forward. We missed a couple shows here, but great to be back. Got a lot to talk about. So let's just kick it into gear, brother, and get going.
Yeah, we will recap the Tour Championship and the red hot all of the sudden red hot Viktor Hovland. Winning 3 of his last 8 tournaments after he'd won just 3 in his whole career. He's now doubled that in the last 2 months. We'll get into a little bit of Viktor Hovland talk. We're going to talk, of course, the subject du jour all around golf right now is the upcoming Ryder Cup. We'll get into a little bit of the selections, those who qualified by points, and the questionable selections.
Is it really questionable, though? I mean, it's questionable for a lot of people. But, you know, you and I talked about it last week, and then I talked about it on a little bit today and on Sunday before they made it out on some of the ESPN affiliates that I go on. And I heard through the grapevine, and I got 2 or 3 right. I heard through the grapevine, not to get too much into Ryder Cup talk yet, but that Cam Young was in. And I really think him missing he has played so poorly this kind of last half of the year. I think that really kicked him out. And some of these guys that kind of jumped up there and started to play well, I think that kind of hurt Cam Young. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But, yeah, controversy maybe, but really is it? I mean, again, I heard a long time. Zach Johnson told JT over a month ago that he was on the team. Well,
then Zach Johnson's a terrible captain and should never be allowed to captain the Ryder Cup.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. Stop.
But we'll get into that as we get into some Ryder Cup talk.
He might not lose a match. He might not
win one either.
That's true. All ties.
But we'll get into some Ryder Cup talk. And does JT belong there? Does he not? I say he doesn't. And Johnny, of course, reluctantly says that he does. Maybe by the skin of his teeth. By the way, teeth don't have skin. That's a weird saying. But
okay, let me ask you something.
Neither here nor there.
Would you rather have him on the team or weird-ass Keegan Bradley?
If we're going strictly by golf with my golf brain, I'm going to say Keegan Bradley.
No one likes him. He's weird.
I don't care. Doesn't matter if they like him. He's a better golfer right now.
Why?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that because I'm going to make some points for Justin Thomas. I'm going to make some points against Justin Thomas when we get into Ryder Cup talks. There's call that a tease in the radio business for everybody.
Well, get you a couple shots, get you a couple drinks in the studio there before we do that, because I'm gonna yell at you.
That's all right.
I don't want you yelling at me.
I'm used to you yelling at me.
That's true.
And then, of course, we'll get into a little bit of the European Cup, Ryder Cup. Those who have already qualified, those who may be selected.
Now that's an interesting conversation. That is going to be interesting, and everybody on the American side, not the players itself, but the fans think that this is going to be a cakewalk, and it's not. I mean, be careful.
I don't know who thinks
that. Be careful. There's a lot of people, but that's just a typical Ryder Cup Americans. Ryder Cup being Americans.
That's the headstrong, patriotic, proud Americans that think that they do everything better than everybody else in the world, and rarely do they. I'm just saying. So we'll get into some Ryder Cup.
And Canada is even worse. So let's just go ahead and move forward.
Maybe the greatest country on the earth.
Okay.
Is that what we're saying about Canada?
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible.
Take off, you hose hound.
That's what you need to do. Take off.
Johnny, we have a tour champion as Viktor Hovland dominated the tour championship to hoist the FedEx Cup after a second straight victory in the playoffs. And there was no denying Viktor Hovland in this postseason. Man, he pulled off the rare BMW championship and the tour championship, claimed $18 million in prize money. Johnny, that makes in the last 8 days, he has made $21.6 million in 8 days. What does his wife/girlfriend look like? Do you think he's reevaluating his position in life right now with that money?
Well, first off, if he's got a girlfriend or wife, one single girlfriend or wife, he is stupid. First off, second off is that money goes a long way in Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's where he lives with a couple of his old college teammates, right? So the guy's just living his life. And I haven't spent much time in Stillwater, Oklahoma, but I'm pretty sure there are some pretty women that go to Oklahoma State that will be more than happy to be his wife for about 12 hours, a couple times a month, and spend some of that money because I'm pretty sure that money. The only thing, they still got 3-2 beer in Oklahoma, because if that's the case, that's terrible.
No, they got rid of that.
They did? Okay.
They did.
Well,
as of, I believe, last September.
Thank God they did. But yeah, I mean, good for Viktor Hovland. And we talked about this last week when we kind of looked at the Tour Championship. Is if as great of a ball striker he is, and I love his move. I mean, he's been criticized a little bit on his golf swing, which I really love. He gets it inside, gets on top of the golf ball, and really traps it and hits that little beezer cut out there, man, and just hits it far. But when he's striking the ball as well as he has over the last couple of weeks, and he doesn't have to chip, and I know his chipping has gotten better, boy, the guy's a world beater. I mean, he has all the characteristics. He hits the ball straight. He hits a little cut. He hits the ball far. His irons are great. And that showed. I mean, look how solid he's played, over the course of really the year. I mean, he contended in the PGA Championship. He's contended in some majors. So, if you take – I mean, you can't really give him player of the year because he didn't really win a major. And I firmly believe if you win a major, you should win a major to win player of the year. It happens the majority of the time. And he just didn't kind of get to that point. But man, is anybody playing better golf in the last month than Viktor Hovland?
No, I mean, and it's not even close. I mean, he won by a lot, and even Tour Championship.
And I'm saying this, and even if he doesn't win, even if he didn't win, he's still playing as good as golf as anybody. So, like I said, sometimes you can play great golf and not win, and just so happens that he did win the last couple of weeks. And the more impressive thing is they're kind of two polar opposite golf courses. And that's what I was saying was This is how good this guy's game can travel so well. He plays in the bent grass up in Chicago, and the weather was soft, and it's a polar different type of golf course. And then you go down there, and then you go down to Atlanta in the heat. More of an undulating type of golf course, playing in that kind of zoysia Bermuda grass. And then for him to be able to do that back-to-back weeks and then dominate, he dominated both weeks, man, it's really impressive. The only thing I'm really worried about is that, he's begging the Ryder Cup was next week, right? Because, that momentum that he has, he might lose. I'm not saying he's going to lose it, but, he's still going to work hard. But, boy, he's damn sure wanting to have that Ryder Cup play next week.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the fifth guy to claim the final two legs of the playoffs, the BMW and the Tour, as we mentioned, and $18 million coming in this week for winning the Cup, plus what he'd already won before. So again, as I mentioned, $21.6 million in the last 8 days. He's done some heavy lifting over here in the playoffs. He's beaten a lot of people. He's beaten a lot of people that are better golfers than him. But, just like any sport, man, we talk about this a lot. In any sport, you want to be hot when you get to the playoffs. I don't care if you're a hockey team, if you're an NFL team, a baseball team, whatever. Hockey teams ride a hot goalie into the playoffs. Football teams ride a hot quarterback, maybe a hot defense. In baseball, you got some hot pitchers or some hot hitters. Dude, in golf, it's no different. You've got some hot putters or some hot drivers. And Hovland was putting it all together here in the last month of play. And it showed, man. And I don't know that anybody. I think you're a little bit higher on Hovland and his whole, where he stands in the grand scheme of things on the PGA Tour than I am. I don't dislike the guy. I haven't seen this from him before, and I thought he was capable of this. He just hasn't really done it before. Well, I'm highly impressed at the way what he's put together in the last month.
I mean, he really has. I mean, if you really, you just because he hadn't won a major, but he is contending in a major. And the cool part about Victor is that I was up covering the Memorial for Golf Central Magazine, and you and I talked about it. When he won the Memorial the following Monday, he caddied 36 holes, walked 36 holes for his buddy in the U.S. Open qualifier, which was the Monday right after the Memorial. So he wins, and it was a tough win. It was late. The weather was terrible. It was hot. So he wins the Memorial. Less than 12 hours later, he's walking, carrying 36 holes of bag for his buddy to try to get in the U.S. Open. So that tells you everything you need to know, right? The easiest thing was, hey, bro, I'll pay whatever you want for a caddy. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And it didn't like he finished fifth. He won and still did it, man. Yeah, so that kind of shows you the character of the guy, right? And, when you start looking at those types of things, you win on that golf course at the Memorial, at Murfield Village, you can win anywhere. And again, his game has traveled. You look at Memorial, it played very firm and fast. You look at these last couple events that he's played, it's played very soft. So obviously the guy can play anywhere, and good on him. And his big discrepancy, everybody was ragging on him for his short game and stuff like that. Well, hell, if you hit it as good as he's hitting it, you don't have to even worry about the short game.
Yeah, it was interesting. I read several accounts over at I think CBS Sports. Obviously they cover golf pretty well. I think I forgot who the other publication was that I was looking at. Said that it was interesting before the final round, 29 of the golfers were out on the driving range, hitting balls, trying to get their long game in order. Viktor Hovland was where? On the putting green.
Yep.
Trying to get his putts in order. And turns out he's the one that won it. And like we said, not by a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit too here, Johnny, before we get into some Ryder Cup and take our first break. Xander Schauffele, of course, coming up second at 22 under. You take away Hovland, you take away Schauffele, and it's kind of an open competition here with guys all kind of bunched up behind those two guys. Schauffele had just as good of a chance to win it as Hovland did, and he was back there waiting for Hovland to sort of fall down, make a mistake, whatever, and it just never happened. And, I know how you feel about Xander Schauffele. He's not my guy or anything. I don't dislike the guy again, but it just seems like he's always in this position where it's going to take somebody else messing up for him to come up and win something big, right?
Yeah, what he shoot 61 or 62 on Sunday, and he kind of made that move, but he didn't have a choice, right? He's one of those guys. I'm not saying he's a boring player. And I'll tell you about Xander. He hits it a lot farther than people think. So he's not really limited in terms of distance on a golf course. So, I don't know what to say. He's a bit like Cantley. He's just so boring and mundane out there. Doesn't really show a lot of emotions. And I get that part, right? The emotional control part of the game is fantastic. But I don't know, man. It was a 2-horse race there for a long time. I think it was a little bit different. Xander was going to do what Xander does, just kind of plot around there and maybe shoot, 4, 5, 6 under. But, he didn't have anything to lose because he had such a big lead from the third place people. But, I don't know. I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me on Xander Schauffele.
No. And tell you a guy that I think we're both real high on, and good God, what a year for this guy as he comes into the year. Having never won a tournament, he leaves the year finishing third in the Tour Championship, a major winner, and a first-time winner, all in the same year. Wyndham Clark.
Yeah.
And this guy, and, his name's going to come up here too, here in a little bit in the next segment. But, I can't think of anybody that's had gone from, and I know it happened a little bit to Scotty last year, but I think everybody expected that from Scotty. They knew that was coming. I don't know that people saw that from Wyndham Clark to put together the year like he had.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's been touted for a long time as having such great talent, right? He started his college career at Oklahoma State. He has some family issues, moved back up to Oregon. But, a lot of guys have been talking through the grapevine for years about this guy. And, he's one of those guys that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Like you said, on the Ryder Cup team, Ricky Fowler was kind of a mentor to him. And if you saw a little piece of a story that they did when he first went to Oklahoma State, he was like the #1 recruit in the country. So, I mean, there's not really any flaws in his game. And I think when you get to the Ryder Cup and you get to that point, that's why he won the U.S. Open, right? He doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. He definitively can't shoot, 30 under par or 28 under par, but he's just so solid. And that's going to really bode well for him in the Ryder Cup. And, like I said, don't be too surprised if you see that pairing of Ricky Fowler and Wyndham Clark.
God, that'd be so great, man. Two of my favorite guys on the PGA Tour, like without question.
Yeah.
At 14 under, I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to feel bad for this guy. I kind of do a little bit because he's dealt with a lot this year. But the back injury sort of took center stage for Rory there at East Lake. And he couldn't really hit any shots leading up to the tournament. He did well just to get around it, and even par on Thursday. He remained just 3 strokes from the lead after beginning at 7 under. But, without his vintage and his classic game, the firepower that he has, the distance that he has, the length that he has, he really had no chance to contend with some of these younger players.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he got a little sour in the back there, and whatever. I'm not saying he slept wrong. I mean, he's not saying it no Motel 6s. So I ain't worried about that when it comes to Rory McIlroy. But it's just wear and tear. He's played a lot of golf, man, and his body just breaks down, and you just don't know when your body breaks down. And unfortunately, it was at this time. I thought he handled it in true Rory fashion. You know how I feel about Rory. I love Rory. I think he's every bit the pillar of the game, face of the game. I think how he handled live golf was just fantastic. It was just unfortunate. This is a golf course he says he loves and he knows he loves, and he plays fantastic there with 3-time FedEx Cup champion, man. So a little unfortunate. I think he wanted. I know he probably was 50-50 that he could have withdrew and say, man, I really need to rest for the Ryder Cup, but in Rory fashion, he really went out there and played, and he kind of knows the big picture, right? I mean, he went out there. There's fans out there that will come to watch Rory McIlroy play golf, and he gets that part, and that really kind of put in that equation of why Rory continued to play. I think on that middle of the round on the third round, I think he knew he probably couldn't catch the leaders, but he continued to play, and the easiest thing for him to do was not, right? And when we would certainly all understand. I mean, we'd understand, but he stuck it out. He got some work done, and good for Rory. And I hope he's healthy for the Ryder Cup.
And we've talked about it before. There's very, very few guys on the PGA Tour who will put the tour ahead of themselves, who will put the need of the masses ahead of what they need and what's comfortable and what's best for them. Of course, barring the risk of a serious injury or something. Obviously, nobody's going to put themselves in that position. But by him going out there and continuing to play, dude, he was doing it for his sponsors. He was doing it for the television audience. He was doing it for the people that were there live to watch him, even though, like you said, he probably knew he had 0 chance of catching these guys, and the easier thing would be to withdraw. But he sucked it up, man. He sucked it up for the game, right? He sucked it up for everybody that was expecting to see him try. And there's a lot of guys that wouldn't have done that.
He just gets it, right? I mean, that's the easiest. Rory just gets it. I mean, I don't know. If people know what that means, they just get it, man. He's just one of those guys that gets it.
Tied for 6th at T6 at 11 under, the world #1, Scotty Scheffler. Of course, he entered the week atop the FedEx Cup standings, but he couldn't hang on. I don't know, and you kind of know my thing with Scotty. Again, it sounds like I don't like him, but I really do. I don't like his game. I don't like his game. I don't like his, I don't know. There's just something that rubs me the wrong way, and it sounds stupid, right? Because he's the world #1. I don't like to watch him play golf. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Well, that's okay.
I'm kind of glad he teed 6.
Well, certainly Scotty didn't know this week for sure. I mean, if you looked at it, the last couple, It's a little similar last week, man. He's just been struggling so much with his putter, and it just puts so much emphasis on his ball striking. And this week, no ifs, ands. This was fatigue for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you ever saw him shoot over par back-to-back rounds? It's been a long time that Scotty Scheffler has done that. We had him on our matchups this week, and I thought he'd have a fantastic back, on fourth round, coming back from a very poor performance on the third round. And he just couldn't get it done. And certainly his fatigue. And the reason I say that is when tour players have that two-way miss, they're either working on their golf swing and something fundamentally is wrong, which is usually not the case when you're in the top 30 and playing the tour championship, right?
Yeah.
Or it's fatigue. And I certainly believe it's a fatigue factor. So, kind of the polar opposite of Viktor Hovland, it's gonna be very good for Scotty Scheffler to take a couple weeks off before the Ryder Cup.
Some other big names: John Rahm, T18 at 7 under. I don't know if what I expected, what we expected as a golf collective out of him in the playoffs. Probably right about where he finished. He wasn't riding a hot hand coming into the playoffs. He kind of had his success way early in the season, which is great. He still had the success. He fell off a little bit there towards the end, but he's still way up there in the rankings. He'll still be in Rome. Jordan Spieth at 1 over, finished 27th. He was lucky just to be there, right?
Yeah.
I feel, and he kind of knew that may have affected his game just a little bit, but there's our rundown of who finished where and why, and we'll get into previews and stuff for these boys after the Ryder Cup and heading into next season for sure. Maybe we could have the potential of having one or two of these guys on the show, which would be great by the time that time rolls around. Yeah,
we certainly got some calls out, and Ryder Cup is going to be a lot of fun. I got some buddies that will be caddying in the Ryder Cup. We'll certainly try to get them on the show before the Ryder Cup. Obviously, that's a busy week, so I'm going to make a call to one of the guys who is second in charge of setting up the Ryder Cup. Really good friend I've known for about 25, 30 years. Again, he has a busy week, man. So bear with us, guys. We're going to get some really cool guests on kind of riding up to the Ryder Cup. And then the Ryder Cup week will certainly be fun-filled packed. We'll have a bunch of PGA members on and some guys that potentially played in the Ryder Cup could be on the show during the Ryder Cup week.
We're going to take a quick break. We are from the Rough Rider on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCarTim. That is Johnny. We're going to come back with some Ryder Cup talk to you right here on From the Rough. We'll be back.
Hello, sports fans. FanStream Sports.
Hey, you like golf? There's a good chance you do because I said so. But what do you need playing golf? Well, you need clubs, right? Clubs, you need balls. The thing that people don't usually think about is that golf bag. And that's what most people see when they look at your golf clubs, like right off the bat. And if you've got a raggedy bag, it's not doing you any favors, bud. So get you a new bag. Go over to orca-golf.com. Orca-golf.com. Why are you going there? You're going there because you want a golf bag, but you want one that's kind of screams you. So you want to pick the colors. Well, you can use your own custom colors. Maybe you have a logo in mind. Maybe it's your logo. You're like Prince. You just have a symbol. That's the case. Dude, you can get your logo on there. Your name, just get it done exactly like what you want it done. By actual designers. Nothing goes out of their factory without the approval of the founder, Erica Bennett, who is just brilliant. We've seen some of her bags. We've got one of them actually in the studio. You know what? Dude, it looks good. If you want other people to look at your golf setup and go, man, that just screams Frank. You want that? Then go over to orca-golf.com. Do yourself a favor and use the promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. I'll say that again, DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. So do it today because Orca Golf is the best choice in the game.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue.
Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life. Man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business, or, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal, or, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to turflifeclub.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today, snag that window decal, or snag any other special Turf Life accessories, and go over there to that website, which is turflifeclub.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new Fans Dream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's 214-937-0569. Text us 24/7, day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you. Now, more Fans Dream Sports.
Welcome back to From the Rough right here on Fans Dream Sports. I am still IndyCarTim. That is still Johnny the Gerbman Gerber, PGA of America member. Johnny the Gerbman Gerber. I got to throw that plug in there like every time I get a chance, don't I?
Well, I appreciate it. That's good idea. Usually you mess it up most of the time, man. So I appreciate you.
PGA of a Gerb America member.
Yeah,
I've said lots of things, haven't I?
You goon it. You call me. I'm gonna start writing all this stuff down that you call me, man. So when I get back to Dallas, I'm gonna go down the list, because you might be the new person on the list, so you might make the list.
All right. Man, I would be honored to be on that list. There's some big company on that list right there.
There is.
Let's see, me and Colin Morikawa.
Colin
Morikawa. Who else is on your list? Joel Damon's on your list, right?
Oh, Damon's all right. I don't mind Joel Damon.
He's not on your list?
No, I don't mind Joel Damon.
Billy Horschel's on your list.
Certainly on the list.
Bryson and Brooks are on your list. All of my Srixon brothers are on your list.
Yeah, good luck.
You just hate Srixon, don't you?
Golf ball's okay.
You like why don't you like Srixon clubs? They're probably gonna be a sponsor.
Why? Because you're playing them?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if they want to sponsor people that shoot 150, that's cool. You go ahead, Srixon.
Hey, you know what?
Get your Srixon.
Let me tell you something about marketing and genius marketing by a golf company, okay? Who better to sponsor than the guy who leaves, 40 to 50 lost golf balls on a golf course for other people to find and use and play? Or the guy that, shoots par and doesn't lose one ball on the whole course?
Is that really a question?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to want your golf balls. Let's just like flying a helicopter over the course and just dropping a bunch of golf balls for people to find. That's what it's like when I go play.
You're certainly a golf professional's dream, losing all those golf balls, because you got to certainly go buy more. That's for sure.
I don't have to pay for them, though. I got a sponsorship.
I guess. I
just called Brooks. I go, Brooks, I need you to call in an order for me. He's like, man, I'm on you, bro.
You and Brooks can be, hold hands when you hit that terrible driver they got.
And then Brooks, I don't have the drivers. And then Brooks is like, hey, bruh, you weren't socks with your golf shoes today, because if you are, you're out. You're outsy, man. We're on the Dunzo. I don't need you anymore.
Y'all can untuck your shirts together. He don't like to tuck his shirt in either. You know what's so funny? So I played in a section event on Monday, and I didn't play very well. Long story short, that's not why I said it. Is there was like 2 or 3 guys in the tournament that wore an untucked shirt.
They allow that? What is this, live golf?
I like. Well, obviously, just it's a little bit more comfort, but I like wearing my shirt untucked.
Well, I mean, there's a brand, and I think there's 2 of them now that's what they make is shirts like that. Nice dress shirts, polo shirts, whatever, golf style shirts that are cut and fitted and meant to be untucked, but they're not like super long, right? They're made for guys with bodies that are fit, right? Not guys like me. So they actually look good when they're untucked. I'm sure Brooks falls into that, so there's that company out there. They probably sponsor some golfers on the mini tours. The guys who can't make it to the big tour.
Yeah, okay. Ricky Fowler certainly likes the untucked look.
Man, he does. He also likes that straight bill golf cap and baseball cap, and I just can't deal with that.
That's what happens when you're small. When little people, man, they got to fix there. That's terrible.
Grown ass men should not wear their baseball cap like that.
Well, they certainly shouldn't wear a Texas Tech baseball cap for sure. But anyway,
if you went to Texas Tech, you can wear a Texas Tech baseball cap.
You didn't go to Texas Tech.
I didn't say I did. I said if they went to Texas Tech, they can wear a Texas Tech baseball cap.
I still frowned upon.
Why?
I don't know.
Jesus
Texas
Christ.
Tech, I don't know.
Jeez.
Thank you. Well, not like that. I mean, no, but not that way. I mean, they are our sponsor. It'd be great if you would actually wear a hat that is one of our sponsors. That'd be great.
Well, if they'd send me a fitted hat, I probably would.
Well, you got that. Can we talk Ryder Cup, please?
Look, I'm going to take this off in about 5 minutes because my head's about to be sweating because it's 85 degrees in the studio right now.
Did we pay the bill?
The bill's paid. It's just hot outside, and I can't get it to cool in the studio any lower than about 85 to 80 degrees right now.
We got a bunch of those windows in there too that doesn't help, and they ain't really, they're not really super tinted, So I get it.
Yeah, but it is what it is. We fight through it, right?
We'll fight through it. We fight through it.
Try anyway. Now I can't get the camera back straight. Let's talk a little bit of Ryder Cup there. Johnny Gerber, PGA of America member Johnny Gerber. I wanted to talk the Euro Cup first, the Euro team, because we're going to have fun talking about the U.S. team. And as far as the Euros go, we've got just, 4 so far?
Four qualifiers? Yeah.
Yeah, as I look at our official European rankings at RyderCup.com, by the way. And we've got, we've got Rory, we've got Rahm, we've got Hatton, and who's our 4?
Hovland.
And Viktor Hovland, of course. And then we've got our guys who probably will make it. There's the guys on the with the DP World Tour by points that we're looking at, and Tommy Fleetwood and Robert McIntyre. So I don't know, out of those two and the guys next in line, do you have any thoughts on here? Number one, I will give you my thoughts first on just those 4 guys being on your Ryder Cup team. I don't think there's any chance the U.S. wins this thing. I'm just throwing this out there. I may change my tune before our preview show next week. I'm just saying, as I look at it now, I don't think the U.S. has any shot.
They're certainly a lot deeper. The European team is certainly a lot deeper than you think. If you go down and you look at those 4 top guys, so certainly Fleetwood's going to be on the team. Bobby McIntyre is a kind of a little, we'll see a little bit. I think once you run down that list, you got that list in front of you. Run down maybe the top 15 to 20, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, if I think they're in, because there's a couple guys that might surprise you that I think are going to be in. And there's one real wild card that I know Luke Donald loves, and he played really well last week.
And you're talking about Ryder Cup points, right?
Euro team.
For Euro?
On the list,
So I've got Rory at 1, John Rahm at 2, McIntyre, Yannick Paul, Adrian Meronk, and Victor Perez.
Let's go back slow. Let's go back. Meronk is in, and here's why I tell you, he won the tournament, the Italian Open, when it was played there this year. So I think he's in. Right. Who was the other?
Yannick Paul, the German.
I think he's out.
Victor Perez
out.
Really? All right. Tommy Fleetwood, he's in, right?
In.
Rasmus Højgaard.
See, that's another wild card between him and his brother that's going to be close. He's going to be kind of that last pick with Bobby McIntyre, I think.
Yeah, but his brother's not anywhere up on the.
Yeah, Rasmussen is probably better than Nikolai.
Nikolai's at 27 on the list.
And they're twins.
Yeah, which is weird. That's unnatural.
So they might be both playing. We just don't know it.
Adrian Otegi?
Certainly out.
Shane Lowry.
He's definitely in.
He's in, right? For sure. Just based on experience. And then Hatton at 11 is already qualified. Jorge Campillo? Or is that saying America? Campillo? No, he's not. Jordan Smith?
Nope.
Thorbjorn Olesen?
Nope.
He's out. I mean, now we're getting into 15 and higher.
Go ahead. I'm telling you, there's a couple guys there. I'm telling you, keep going.
Antoine Rosner?
Nope.
Francois? Hovland's at 17. Alex Noren is probably in, right, at 18? Taking Noren with you to Rome? No? Alexander Bjork?
Nope.
Pablo Larrazabal?
No, he's not in.
Marcel Seam?
Go to the world ranking. So there's two lists for the Ryder Cup qualification. Go to the world one.
It's the DP World Tour points, right?
No, get to the world. There's a world points that they allow them to have.
So yeah, that's why I asked you, because I knew. And you're not asking for the OWGRs, right? That's a different list.
No, so there's two point list.
Right, it's the official world golf rankings, and then it's don't you have just the DP World Tour points or the whatever the world
so
points?
there's a Ryder Cup list, so they take them off too. So I'm going to tell you who's in before we even go through that. Justin Rose is in. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
Justin Rose is playing. I really do think Ludwig Egberg's in.
Wow, that would be shocking. I mean, I'm not disagreeing.
I'm serious.
I just think
he certainly. I certainly believe that he's in, and I think that last spot, if you continue to go down there, Lowry's certainly in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that last spot is going to be predicated on Højgaard or Bobby McIntyre, and they got one more event this week to play, and I think Bobby I
found your list.
Yeah, find it. Go.
Okay, I'm going to start at 1. McIlroy, Rahm, Hovland, Hatton, Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he's in.
Sepp Straka.
Straka's in.
8 is Shane Lowry.
He's in.
9 is Justin Rose. 10, Robert McIntyre. Let's see. We talked about Moronk. Alex Noren is 12. You say he's out. Seamus Power at 13.
That's interesting. If you look at Seamus Power, he's just been playing so poorly. But the only reason I say he's out, he's a power player, and this is not the really place for a power game. They're going to set this thing up for strategically and a lot of rough and not overly whelmingly long golf course. So they're going to try to get the drivers of the golf ball out of their hands, the long drivers.
Thomas Dietrich at 14.
No.
Victor Perez at 15. Nikolai Højgaard at 16.
Yeah.
Adrian Otegi at 17. Aaron Rye at 18.
No.
And then Rasmus back at 19. Yannick Paul at 20. Jordan Smith, Matt Wallace, Antoine Rosner, Alexander Bjork, Thorbjorn Olesen, Danny Willett.
Be careful with Matt Wallace because he's certainly in that mix, and I know he's really good friends with Luke Donald.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful with him. But I'm just telling you right now, I really got a feeling that Luke Donald is going to pick Aberg. And I know he struggled kind of that little stretch in the summer when he was playing fantastic and they were paired together. But he's played well of late, and I think they want some new young blood on that team. And he's probably the best driver of the golf ball in the world right now. Stats show that. So I think Luke Donald's got he's got to put a wild card in there, man. And I really think Ludwig Aberg, get him in there now, kind of similar what they did 2 years ago with Scotty Scheffler, right? getting some experience, get a guy that's potentially going to be on that Ryder Cup team for years to come. I think I really think he's going to pick that. And I certainly believe Justin Rose is in, and then the other one that we talked about, Matthew Fitzpatrick. Dude, that's a strong – I mean, how strong is that team?
That's I'm telling you right now, there's no chance the U.S. can beat that team.
I mean, it's going to be –
see it happen. I may have to put money on this Ryder Cup.
It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. That's certainly for sure. It's one of the, you know, I was saying yesterday on an ESPN interview was yesterday's press conference, even for the Ryder Cup, and we'll talk about that next segment. I was more excited to learn who he was going to pick than I've been in a long time. Right. Yeah. I mean, just so much potential and so much, you know, who's going to be on there and who's not. And I was certainly surprised, you know, with all the, here's where I'll say, if they had to make the picks in the spring without the merger of Live Golf, I certainly don't think Koepka would be on the team.
Oh, really?
No.
I mean, that's interesting.
They'll make it stay.
But don't you feel like they need him on the team?
Yes, but they'll have principle. I think they would have made a pact, say, hey, listen, man, you know, to contrary belief, people don't realize the PGA of America owns this event, the Ryder Cup, not the PGA Tour. It's not a PGA Tour event.
Right.
So a lot of people don't really understand that. But with Koepka winning the PGA, certainly helped him getting out of that top automatic spots. And I think with the merger and everything going on with LIV, I think if it's the same in the spring, that he doesn't win, he plays pretty good in the PGA, but he's right around that cuff and they don't really do a merger with Live Golf. I don't think Koepka is a pick because I think they make a pact to say, listen, we're not taking any LIV guys.
Well, and that would be a good pact to take. Although I don't know, does the PGA of America give a crap about Live Golf and all that crap?
Oh yeah, everyone, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're one of the 5 governing bodies that have a vote on things like that. But they certainly
right. But I mean, they're more interested in winning the Ryder Cup than standing up for any principles right now, I would think.
Well, I mean, now, yes, but I mean, you certainly, like I said, if you rewind, you know, 4 or 5 months ago with all everything that was going on, I think the PGA of America puts a stance, say, listen, we don't want these guys on the team, and vice versa for Europe.
That'd be great. Time for our last break. Pay a few more bills, get some more commercials in before the final segment of the show. We're going to talk a little bit more in detail about the United States Ryder Cup coming up here in just a couple of weeks, and the big match out in Rome. I am IndyCarTim. That is Johnny Gerber. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. We'll see you then.
Hello, sports fans. FanStream Sports.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life, man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business, or, you know, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal, or, you know, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to turflifeclub.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today, snag that window decal, or snag any other special Turf Life accessories, and go over there to that website, which is turflifeclub.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hello, golf friends. It's IndyCarTim from the Rough. I want to take just a minute here and tell you about our new friends over at Orca Golf. They make high-quality PGA Tour grade golf bags, and they're the best in the business. They're the real deal. They're the best bags I've ever seen. They even designed a bag for the Golden Bear himself, Jack Nicklaus. Head over to orca-golf.com and pick up a great bag from their catalog, or let them customize one just for you. You can use your own custom colors, your own logo, you name it. You work with actual designers, and nothing goes out without the approval of founder Erica Bennett. She's just brilliant. Visit orca-golf.com. That's ORCA-golf.com, and use our promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. Do it today. Orca Golf, best choice in game.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive?
Sometimes when there's only one pickle in the pickle jar, you
flashes,
just got to eat that pickle.
moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new FanStream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's 214-937-0569. Text us 24/7 day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you. Now, more FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to From the Rough, right here on FanStream Sports, live from the Dallas FanStream Sports Studios. I'm IndyCarTim. That guy over there, live from Kansas City, Johnny Gerber, PGA of America member Johnny Gerber. As we get into a little bit of U.S. Ryder Cup talk here on a Wednesday for you. You got a show Monday, Johnny, or are you golfing again?
We have a show Monday. Yeah.
All right.
We're good, man. Isn't it Labor Day Monday?
I don't know. I don't have holidays. I just work every day.
So yes, we'll be doing a show on Monday. Yeah.
All right. Well, good enough. So we'll be back on Monday with some more probably Ryder Cup talk, some more of the picks.
Will you cut me off now? I mean, are we done? I guess that's it.
I'm just promoting the episode on Monday. It's called Tease. Tease me.
What happened to your
me,
hair? Is it
as
so hot
said.
you burned all your hair off?
That's what happens when you get old like us. I don't have the
What do you
luxury of
mean us?
wearing a wig like you.
What do you mean us? I don't know wearing a wig.
I don't know, but I'd take my complexion right now over yours any day. I don't know what's happening with your leather face right now on the camera. I don't know.
I don't know. I get it. I don't know. We got some bad lighting here in the hotel, so
We had
we'll figure it out.
a viewer that texted in, said that he thought you looked like Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. He kept waiting for you to put your fingertips up and shoot lightning bolts out of your fingertips. I was like, yeah, well, I'm kind of right there with you. Glad I'm not in the same room.
I
with
guess
him.
it's probably better than Jar Jar Binks or something. At least I don't look like Jar Jar Binks.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything.
That's the only That's the only Star Wars character I know.
Come on.
Well, I mean,
Luke-
besides
Luke
the main ones.
Skywalker, Jabba the Hutt.
Next show. That's next show.
Jeez, come on. Johnny, your U.S. Ryder Cup team, starting from point, we'll go in points here. Of course, Scotty, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon, Patrick Cantlay, Max Homa, Xander Schauffele round out your top six. And then as I come over to where we had the actual picks, because I used to have those. As you'd think I would have all of this, ready already. Of course, you've got Xander, Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth. I have no idea how that happened. And Justin Thomas. Johnny, this team's doomed. There is no chance. They may get swept. I'm predicting a sweep.
That's not going to happen. But, everybody's kind of, rah or la la or whatever they want to do in terms of this came down to two things. First off, Zach Johnson made it very apparent that the players picked these guys. He had his input. The vice captains had his input, but he wanted the coaches, the players, to pick their team, and they did. Justin Thomas was on this team a month ago. They were not this team was not going to be without Justin Thomas. Good, bad, and different. How he's been playing, he's had a poor year, correct. But look at it a little bit this way. Justin Thomas is not going to play bad golf forever. He's just not. So does this give him rest? Does this give him some time to continue to work on his game? He's been practicing more, and he's going to probably practice more than anyone else going into the Ryder Cup. I know he's going to play Fortinet, which is going to give him some reps, and he's probably going to be the only one that's going to play Fortinet going into the Ryder Cup. So the bottom line is they all wanted him on the team, and he's on the team. It's really that simple. I really thought that, again, like we talked about last segment, is I thought Koepka was a wild card, but how Zach was talking, and I think this is a little bit of fool's gold because I know for a fact Cantley and Schauffele aren't the best of friends with Brooks Koepka, right? That's they can tell all the BS that they want, but that's really the fact. So, but that being said, is he one of the best 5 players in the world? Yeah, probably. So how do you leave him off? That's the hard part. I think if Cam Young would have played better the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think he was on the team. Again, we talked about that first segment. I just heard through my sources that Morikawa, Spieth, and Cam Young were locks to be picks. So 2 of the 3 were correct. But I just think the form that Cam Young has been in, you just can't pick him. Like you just couldn't pick him. And leaving Keegan Bradley off the team, that doesn't bother me at all. That doesn't bother me at all. Jordan Spieth, there's no way unless they're injured. There's no way in the next 10 years Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas are going to be off this Ryder Cup team. They're just not. It's not going to happen. It doesn't really matter. They're not going to be off the Ryder Cup team. So that's my thoughts.
So I've got a theory, and I know why Justin Thomas was picked. Okay, everybody knows why Justin Thomas was picked. I'm just saying I don't know if it's the right decision. All right, we know that he was picked because of his Ryder Cup experience, right? The fact that he plays really well on European soil. We've all watched that. We all know that. And you alluded to this, and you touched on this a second ago, and I find this interesting. He gets along with everybody. All these guys are friends. All these guys are buddies. All right.
It's a big deal.
And I understand that. I just don't know if that's the best way to pick your Ryder Cup team just because we're all friends.
Well, it could certainly, it's certainly a positive as opposed to a negative. If they're not all friends, how you gonna be around these guys forever, right? I thought a little wild card would have been Tony Finau. That was kind of my wild card guy. But again, he kind of fits that mold a little bit of he's just been playing so poorly. And it wouldn't surprise me if they really picked Tony Finau. But just obviously Justin. But you look at JT. Look at the guys you comparing with. You comparing with almost anybody on the team, and certainly in a best ball format, the dude, no matter how poorly he's playing, the dude's going to make a hell of a lot of birdies, right? In best ball format, you need that. It's just not your score. You're just going out to play a tournament. Justin Thomas got in the rut that he was making huge numbers, but he was still making 5 or 6 birdies around. But he's making big numbers because his golf swing is a little off. But in the best ball format, that's what you want, right? Yeah. So it's a little bit of fool's gold when it comes to how well has been playing, and then going on top of playing in a Ryder Cup when you actually can rely on somebody, right? You make a 9 on a hole, it's only 1 hole.
Yeah, and that's part of the intrigue and the appeal, I think, of the Ryder Cup and the international competition like that is, somebody can screw up a hole. Well, you just screwed up the hole. It doesn't carry over to the next hole, and you're allowed to start over and you get back into it. And that's why it takes a specific kind of golfer, I think, to succeed in play like this, in the Ryder Cup style points and in things like that, because it's a different mentality than playing regular golf. And some guys don't have the ability to switch their brain off and back on from other scoring formats. But, and you and I talked on numerous shows about, is it going to be Justin Thomas or is it going to be Sam Burns? I don't know that I ever envisioned both of them making the team. Yet here we are.
And it was a little bit off. And I think that, Sam Burns, obviously, I think these guys really wanted him, especially Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he had a pretty big voice, even though it's only his second Ryder Cup. But if you look at Sam Burns, he's been playing well probably the last month, and he's really played really solid going into playing in the FedEx Cup playoffs. But I'm telling you that winning in the match play in Austin, the Dell match play, was a big deciding factor, how good he is at match play going into the Ryder Cup. And then as well as he played last year in the President's Cup, his experience that he gained going into the Ryder Cup, and on top of that, winning the match play, man, I really think that propelled. I don't think Sam Burns was I don't think he was on the fence, man. If he played poorly the last couple of weeks in the FedEx Cup, yeah, maybe he'd have been out, and I don't know who would have been in. I mean, I don't think any of them won Keegan Bradley on the team, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just me being me. But, Keegan, with like I said, with Sam Burns winning the match play, which is a key component, learning how to play match play, and then his pretty good form as of late, I think there was not even a question that Sam Burns was on the team.
Yeah, and that's what I said. If it's between the two, you got to take Burns over Justin Thomas. But here we are with both of them on the team, and we'll find out in a month or so if that was a mistake or not. And this might be
Who
one
do you
of the
think
more
was the snub? Who do you think got snubbed?
I haven't looked at it that much to decide. I mean, was Bradley a snub of a little bit? Yeah, but was he really deserving too? I don't. There's probably guys that I'd have to go in and look that were probably more deserving than Keegan Bradley that didn't get in. And I'd have to, you know what? Let's talk about that on Monday then during the show. Who are the biggest snubs that definitely didn't get in? Maybe on both sides, Euro and US. We can certainly put that list together.
Yeah, and I think they got to make the Ryder Cup after this weekend. I think Tuesday. I think it's another Tuesday press conference. So maybe we'll do a little projections on Monday and then talk a little bit more about it on Wednesday with the Ryder Cup. I think the European Ryder Cup team is a little bit more intriguing who they pick, just because everyone who watches the show here and Americans don't probably know some of these names, but that'll be intriguing. That'll be intriguing. Like I said, man, I think Ludwig Egberg is in.
I mean, I would love to see it. There's no question. Again, Texas Tech guy, right? I'm wearing the tech hat today. Covered him at Tech, covering him now on the PGA Tour, and his international play as an amateur kind of speaks for itself. The dude, and you talk about experience in international play, and I go, it's as an amateur, but dude, international play as an amateur and international play as a pro, it's the same stress level. You're still playing for your country. You're still playing for pride. You maybe not have as many eyes on you, but it's still there. So this guy's proven himself in international play. It's not a shock to me, really, that he's on. I think it's a shock that he was chosen. But again, you kind of discussed the reasons behind that.
Yeah, and at some point you got to get some of these young bloods in there. And would it surprise me if Bobby McIntyre and Ludwig Egberg's both on there? It wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, I think they're looking at the benefit 3 years down the road, getting Egberg some experience, just like the U.S. side did with Scotty Scheffler 2 years ago.
So lots of Ryder Cup discussions to be happening before that kicks off. We've got the Fortinet coming up. We're going to have all sorts of golf talk for you here next week, starting on Monday, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern on FanStreamSports.com. On the FanStream Sports app, by the way, download it for Android and iOS today. It's all on your app store for you. You get all of our live programming as well as the current shows of each one of our podcasts are up there too. And then on whatever your favorite podcast app is, go check us out over there. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to hear from you on social media. It's right there on the screen. We are at From the Rough PGA. On X, I guess we're calling it X now instead of Twitter. I am at IndyCarTim. He is at J Gerber PGA Pro. We'll do it all again on Monday, Johnny. I'm assuming you're not playing golf or whatever.
I'm going to play golf, but I'll be ready for the show. I'll go out there and play bad like I did today, so we'll figure that part out.
Can't wait to talk about that. We'll see you guys next time, boys and girls.